Against the ropes, number one.
So then we had the event, All Star Boxing. You want to talk about that, Chris?
Yeah, no, it was an exciting night again of boxing matches. Again, I messaged you guys like I started boxing just to get into fitness, and man, it takes a while. So I did message you guys like I have a newfound respect for like these fighters, man. Like even 4 rounds, like it's heavy, and so you gotta be ready. But yeah, we had a good night of fights. We had some controversial calls.
I'm like, where are you going with this?
Which we'll talk about. But yeah, what were you guys impressed with on that night? I'll start with you, Chris.
Just disappointed, but it's more of what happened.
Tell us why.
With Abraham.
Because the show was not disappointing. It was a pretty good show. It was a lot of action.
Yeah. That's what I'm not trying to disregard what happened in the show. The show is always awesome because you have, like I mentioned, we spent this like 20 minutes about why we love, what's one of the things that we love being there. And so we had this fight with Abraham Lopez, and the other guy was named Jesus, I believe.
Viviano.
And we talk about how sometimes, we said this in the last week, that we always get the scorecards right.
Yeah.
Before they're even
Not trying
announced.
to brag,
not
but
to sound brag or anything like that. And this was nothing in regards to like we're doing groupthink, right? Like you always want to avoid that.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing the same situation, right?
Yeah, that's why I always like asking you guys first. Because I already have my opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to see if we're thinking the same thing or if I'm fucking off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And for that fight, how did you have it scored?
I had it 4-2.
Yeah, I had it.
Abraham.
I had it 5-1 the first time around, and I know Gio had it a little bit closer.
Yeah. And then after hearing Gio, I could see it a little bit. 3-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it 4.5 to 2.5.
Yeah, and
it was pretty close.
And the final scorecard was, I think it was
I forgot, but Abraham Lopez
lost.
So I mean, you guys know me. Like I think the past two fights that we've done in the events, like if I see a judge score it wrong, I usually like bent off.
You guys called him off, and you guys
And
had
I call him
Gio had
off.
the judge like right next to him. That was funny.
But this one was special for me because I was speechless.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
That's how I
No,
felt
yeah.
too.
Yeah. Same here. I was just like,
Yeah.
I was shaking my head. I was
Yeah,
like,
why?
did I hear right? Like,
Oh yeah. When that scorecard got announced, I feel like I got knocked out. Like I could hear the ring, like ding.
yeah. And we have a clip of Freddie Roach's reaction.
Yeah.
He just.
I'm
like
like,
lost in the corner.
I have a video because I'm like, dude, honestly, I wasn't even paying attention to the...
yeah, we weren't paying attention because we
I was
all
pulling
thought
out my
it was already.
phone,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I was just like,
I pulled out my phone. I'm like, I'm going to post something for an
Yeah.
Instagram story. I zoom in
Yeah.
on Roach, on AB Lopez. Like, oh, yeah, they're going to raise their hands right now. And then
And he caught the moment.
I was like, what the fuck?
Man.
Oh,
He just
man.
Freddie just he looked
Oh man. See, boxing is a joke, dude. It is. Like, and I get frustrated with what happens outside the ring. Yeah, but here's a preview of what I would have probably said, and I withheld a lot.
This is what I would say.
I about,
Roger that.
about boxing politics, right? I even created that stupid board, and I talk about like the A side and the blue side. And in the end, we were talking about scorecards, like the Canelo Mayweather and the Triple G Canelo. Like, we talk about how is it that who are these judges to score fights when they never actually lace the gloves at all?
yeah.
You know. And I'm like, this is a prime example. And so when I heard the scorecard, I clicked. I wanted to go outside. I took out my headsets and I told you, hey, I'm gonna go interview Freddie Roach. Like, I really want to know like what's going on, because this is like, I don't want to say the word, but this is not fair. This is not a fair result. So I got up and I went back to the locker room, and I'm not gonna mention somebody's name, but let's just say that they're part of the promotion. And they're coming out of the locker room as I'm going in. And I just I'm walking towards him, and I'm just like shaking my head, and I see I say the R word, robbery. Like, I just saw a robbery, and he looks at me. He's just like,
Yeah.
and he's just devastated because he knows,
you know,
like,
you know.
yeah, if he knows, and this is somebody like and I'm not gonna mention his name, and he just passes by, and then I'm walking towards Abraham. He's sitting down, and Abraham just has this like, just like this. He's just
like a
like dead.
disbelief,
Just there, and I'm glad that you interviewed Freddie Roach before the fights.
Yeah, because
And you know how you mentioned like, oh, you know, I don't think it's good to like interview the fighter before or
just do it after. Right?
do it after.
But yeah,
No,
And just to mention, the other guys had a record of 17 wins and 13 losses, I believe, or
about that.
13 wins, 17 losses.
He had multiple
I think he had 17
digit
losses. but
Yeah.
He was a guy that was under 500.
yeah. So I see Abraham sitting down, and I tell him, hey, just to let you know, I did the ringside commentating, and I had you winning 4-2. What do you had? What did you had it? And he was being optimistic. He's like, yeah, you know, he was trying to be upbeat. Yeah, man. Like I feel like I won like the fight, but you could see it in his face, like still like back of his mind, like just shock and disbelief. And he sits down, and he doesn't know like what to do. He's just sitting down. I guess he wants to take off his shoes, and he's just like, he's not concentrated. You could tell he's lost sitting down, like just by the result. And I see her, the manager that we were talking to, Freddie Roach. What was her name?
Skipping my mind right
Yeah,
You could skip her.
yeah. She comes by because she sees Abraham trying to take off his shoes, and Abraham is having a hard time. And I think he could have done it. It's just that he was not mentally. He was
he's
just
not mentally there.
He's not there. He's not there. And I tell her, give me the scissors, and I got the scissors, and I just got on my knee, and I just took off, and I ripped up the lace that was strapped, and he's just. You can see his body language. He's just not there, and I'm just trying to like see. I'm just trying to help him out because like this kid just got robbed, and I'll go into like why I hate that shit, and I tell him like everybody saw it. You won the fight, and
he won.
Yeah, he won.
Yeah,
and then I saw Freddie Roach come by. And just to let you know, the whole atmosphere in the locker room felt like somebody died. Like nobody was talking to each other at all. Let's just get the gloves. Let's get the stuff. Let's just get the fuck out of here.
And before you forget to mention it as well, right after the fight, the ring announcer, he said, "Oh, we have a special guest tonight, Freddie Roach, Hall of Fame trainer, Freddie Roach." And then he had to stand in the ring for an extra 10 seconds. People clap, whatever, and then he just left.
Yeah,
I think during the broadcast, I'm like, I don't think Freddie Roach is like too happy right now. I don't know why they.
Yeah, so I go up to Freddie Roach, and I tell him, hey, I did the commentating. I had him winning 4-2. Like, what were your thoughts? He's like, oh, I think we did enough to win the fight, but he didn't want to continue interviewing.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to. And I'm like, okay. And I just go back to Abraham. You know, I'm just observing. I'm not asking him no questions. I'm just like there, just like in disbelief. Like it's one thing like when you watch boxing, right, and you see like an unfair scorecard, and you're so pissed off, like not because you put money in the fight because you lost, but you're so pissed off at the way that how it was scored, like something injustice happened.
Yeah,
like that's what happened, dude. And then Freddie Roach comes up to Abraham Lopez, and they're not even talking. They're just taking out the gloves. They're not even talking. And you can see it, like everybody is just trying to like pat Abraham, like, you know, you did good. Like, you did good, Abraham, you know? But Abraham doesn't give a shit about any of those words.
Yeah.
And this is what gets me wrong when it comes down to scorecards like that, dude. Like you're robbing somebody of 4 months of their lives, and like one scorecard or one fight that puts you in L, like brings you down to like 2 or 3 years setback, dude.
Yeah, I believe Abraham up and coming into that fight was like 8-1. So
yeah, he just had that one blemish.
8-2 looks a lot worse.
Yeah, and to me it's sad when we have judges that like you in like even I'm stunned even talking about it, dude. It's just it pisses me off because I watch boxing and I don't like it when I see like that when a young man gets robbed about something that he does for the love of the game, you know?
Yeah. For me, like I I know judging is a tough job. Like it's very hard. It is hard. Like especially when it's a close fight. Like that can be pretty tough. So I try to see what did the judges see, but like even me stretching my head around, I'm like I couldn't find like he was Viviano was like a busier and he was fighting a good fight for for what was expected, but like it still wasn't enough.
You guys watch it again?
Yeah, I saw it again, and I had it a little bit closer than when I first saw it, but still like it wasn't enough. Like, and Gio, you mentioned a good point. Like AB was landed one good one, and Viviano landed 3 kind of sloppy ones. But that's not when you're a judge. You're supposed to count like the ones that like the hits that land. He made it a little bit messy, but at the end
it's just that Abraham like kind of he basically controlled the whole fight. Like he did he produced the fight, scripted the fight, directed the fight, ended the fight with a W, and he lost. And then you can see. Oh, that's one thing I do want to talk about. After they announced the winner, even they were stunned.
Yeah, wasn't there like a little?
They were just like, and then like the trainer from the other trainer goes to Freddie Roach like, yeah, just like they hit the lottery, dude.
Yeah. Even Jim Fitzgerald, I think he was having he took a minute to read the cards. Like I don't think he even thought he was reading the right card.
And
or
it was
something.
crazy because we were saying the scorecards were going to be interesting because obviously Abraham Lopez being on that red corner with Freddie Roach on his side, we thought that they were not going to score it very closely, that fight, right?
Yeah.
So we're expecting like a 5-1 for Abraham Lopez, judging these judges. If that makes sense. But then, it was shocking, man.
Just like that. It's just sometimes you couldn't. And if I would have been there and if I would have stayed there, I would have probably approached a judge.
The judges, I was gonna tell you.
I would have told him like, hey, dude, not dude, because there was a woman too. But I would have just said like, I have a problem with your scorecard.
Yeah, and you mentioned in previous podcasts like, who are these guys to judge a fight? Like, I'm pretty sure none of these guys have ever boxed. They don't even look like they've ever done sports in their lives. I don't think they've ever been punched in the face before. So I would love to talk to one of those boxing judges and just trying to see what goes through their heads, because they can go to school and get trained and shit like that, but
something was off.
Yeah.
And we've seen that many times in boxing, in big fights with judges who are supposed to be renowned and have a lot of experience, things like that.
Yeah, and I took pictures, and I posted them on Instagram, and you could see that like he looked deflated, Abraham.
And during the broadcast, I said, I could see a 3-3, like at best for Jesus Bibiano. But with these judges, I don't think it's gonna go that way, because the whole thing again, Lopez with Freddie Roach in his corner, he has an 8-1 record. So it was pretty shocking.
Yeah, and we still have fights to cover afterwards. I think like 2 or 3. But that was just like
we got deflated a little bit just because we just
even after the fights were done, we were still talking about it. Just like
we had a guy fight by the name of by the alias of Triple V. That was interesting. And that I want to mention that too, because this dude rocked the other guy. The other guy was making his debut, and I forgot to check Triple V's. I'm gonna keep saying that over and over. I forgot to check his like amateur record, because this guy, it was like his 5th fight as a professional, or 4th.
Yeah, we saw him.
This guy looked good, man.
The last one.
Yeah, this guy looked good. Like,
I was like, I think somebody else has something like that.
He was from Romania.
Triple B. Like, I think he got it from somebody.
Yeah, some other guy.
Yeah, he's from Romania, and he was boxing.
Put my word into it.
A young guy making his debut, and he fucking rocked him, dude. His nose was bloody like a what? It was bleeding like a what?
Like a faucet.
Like a faucet, man. But the dude did not give up. This dude was bleeding for 4 rounds, and he kept fighting. His blood was left all over the ring.
Yeah,
I was scared that I was scared that the blood was gonna fly on us.
Yeah, I was surprised he survived, because you just see the technical difference between both fighters. The guy that was making a debut, he didn't have like a jab, right, to save his life, and so
he wasn't very skilled. But
he found a way to survive.
Eddie, he always likes to mention at the end of fights, like, that's why we bring him back, because he can fight. Regardless if he wins or loses, like, he can fight. And he was one of those, like, he didn't give up. And then after the fight, when we're broadcasting the fights live, right, All Star Boxing and MMA, And this guy comes behind us, like, to say hi to the cameras and stuff. And we're just like, dude, respect. Like,
Yeah.
because this guy did not give up.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ed Holmes, promoter, Eddie Rodriguez, matchmaker, putting up a great night of fights. Shout out to KT Media. Shout out to Against the Ropes. Hey, respect. Respect, man. Are you hear Claudio saying he's going to come back stronger? And that's pretty much all you can think of some blood on me, too.
And he was cool. Like, he took an L, but pretty sure he learned a lot.
Yeah.
That's
And-
why that's more of a satisfying loss
Mhm.
than the one that Abraham lost.
Yeah, we always mention about learning something about yourself, right? I'm pretty sure he learned something in every single round about himself.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he wanted to quit at some point,
Mm-hmm.
but
He's going to
He
gain
finished with
from it.
4 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that brings me back to the other fight with Harris, where Harris lost. You know, he got knocked out.
Against the ropes, number one.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.